Hi everybody, it is Cinnamon Cooney, your art sherpa, and today I'm so excited to show you how you can paint fireworks. Really easy. This is absolutely for beginners. I'm going to show you every step of the process. So get your paint, get your brushes, check out the materials list, and come back and meet me at the easel right now. We're going to celebrate with fire in the sky. Come on. So you've checked out that list of materials, gathered everything together. Step one is shake up all that paint. Let's get going. Woo! Creative box, check. Workout, check. Shaking up the paint, it'll really get that blood pumping and also get you ready creatively for what you're going to do. Still be sure and check out the website for all the fact information about this product. Even though it is a water-based technology and a much safer spray paint, really it's kind of an art paint, you still want to follow all the instructions like I am here. I got my gloves, got my mask, got pretty good ventilation. I got a nice thing for overspray. I'm ready to get started with my painting. Let's start laying everything in. So I'm going to start out with my cadmium yellow medium. So I'm going to shake it up. You can always test the spray off on your little paper catch here, and I'm going to put in a couple yellow spots for glowing fireworks. So I'm going to come up here in the upper left corner. I'm going to be about 6 inches back, and I'm going to make a nice light spray. All right, so see how that's a nice light spray that's covering the canvas? I'm going to come right down here to the center. I'm going to make another nice yellow light spray. Beautiful little glow of fireworks in the distance. We'll put this to the side. I'm going to shake up my blue. This is my cobalt blue, but listen, you just need a yellow, you just need a blue. These are just fireworks. It's really going to be just fine regardless of what you use. I'm going to blow out a nice little bit of blue here. I've got a light pressure on the nozzle. I don't want to make the paint too thick or it'll drip. The other way you can do this to prevent drips is to definitely lay these flat. So if that's something you need to do, you can do that. I've got to teach mine up on the easel, so I got to think about that. I got my Quinacridone right here, which is my nice pink. I'm going to make a nice pink firework that's happening up here. So I have these beautiful beginning spots of color, and I'm going to have to lay in my black now. So I'm going to get my black. This happens to be carbon black, but any of the black paints will do. And I've got this CD that I put a little tape handle on, and this is going to help me make a bit of kind of a stencil, but I'm going to hold it back from the canvas so it doesn't make a sharp edge. If I do it close, it's a sharp edge. Away, it's a soft edge. And I'm going to sort of spray paint in a little bit of the night sky and water. And where I'm close to my fireworks, right, I might use this stencil just to kind of keep it from overspraying too much. Putting that down in. I'm going to definitely let a little bit happen here. And maybe around the edge here. Come off the edge a little bit and rounding it out here. So this is the beginning of that. The next thing that I can do while I'm here is to take my white spray paint and spray it into this toothbrush and put in some really neat kind of stars that are going to happen. Don't worry about where these are getting because we're going to let this dry flat so it doesn't drip on us. If you're painting it flat, you don't have to worry about that step. Just make sure that I've got nice stars reflecting in the sky and in the water. And I'm going to do a second coat for glow. All right, I like that star. I'm going to rinse that off in the water. So I know I love to hair dry my acrylics, but with the spray paint, I actually like to let them air dry because if I accelerate their drying, they can craze, especially if they're on the canvas very thickly. So I'm going to lay it flat, let it dry, and come back and do the next little diffused coat. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Ooh, that was a good break. Let's get in the rest of this painting. First things, masks up. I'm going to just real quick, even though my mask is up, come in here and throw in a water line while the painting is dry before I do my next layer. I'm using a T-square. These are inexpensive. You can find them most locations. I'm coming about a third of the way up the canvas, and I'm going to just drop a nice soft chalk line. This is a chalk pencil, but you could just use kids' chalk. And put that aside, and that's going to be a nice saving spot for my next cool trick, which is going to be the second glow of fireworks. So I've got my blue again, and I'm going to come over here to the right, and I'm going to just very lightly and a little far back make another blue kind of illumination. Then I'm going to grab the Quinacridone. I'm going to come up here in the upper right, nice and wide out, make sure that that has a nice glow, and you'll see that that kind of even illuminates into my dark sky. Then this is fun. This is going to be a foot. It's like just a little spit. It's like this, like that right there. Like that. Like that. Maybe like that. There you go. So that's the fireworks. Those are drying now. I don't actually have to use my spray paint anymore, so I can take my mask off. I do like the reduction of that chemical smell. All right, I'm going to put my paint out for the second part of this painting. I'll meet you right back here when the paint's all out. All right, so my paint's out and I'm ready to do this next part. On my palette, I have my black paint. In this particular case, this is black gesso. I have Cad Yellow Medium, Phthalo Blue, Quinacridone Magenta, and some titanium white. I've got a number 6 bright bristle on. I'm going to get my brush wet and drag off the extra water just to make sure that it's not too soaked, because I want to be able to just load this up here from the edge. See, like I've got right here on the edge of the brush. I'm going to come along the bottom where I made that light chalk line, which is still showing through my spray paint, guiding me, and make my distant landscape. This is my city where all my people live, and they're very happy people, because I can decide that in my painting. That's one of the best parts of painting. I'm just going to wear this mask the rest of the thing. All right. So right here, I kind of want a little valley. Right? It's sort of like this. This is a little curvature of the landscape. Right? This is where the people might be collecting. And then I'm going to come up over here and I'm going to add a little hill. Growing up in Southern California, we had these wonderful sort of rolling hills. And I think they're lovely to represent in a painting. The trick to them is just make sure that they're not cloned, in other words, not the repeat of shapes, and that they have a sense of meandering. Paint all that in. Right? Super easy. Right? And the contrast between this black and the black in the background really helps it pop, especially where the star and the star reflection is. So that's a lot of painting done with very little work, and you gotta love that when that happens. It's a lot of art. Just filling that all in. All right, using my bright. Now I'm going to put in a couple city buildings because somebody has to have, financed this fireworks show. And I just like to use the shape of my brush to create those buildings. So I'm going to come up, tabbing the edge, and just pulling a little bit to the right, making kind of a skinny little building. And then maybe it's got a taller friend right here. Little tall friend off in the distance. This city. And then another little roof peeking up here. Something's afoot, right? Somebody's built a little warehouse over here. There's probably little homes in the corridor. Think about those things in your paintings. What's here? And enjoy the fact that at least in this space, you got a lot of control. Maybe another little building right there. You can even add a little tallness to that. So feel like you've got room There's another little building tucked in there to build out your world as you see fit. Once it's all in, you can rinse out that brush really, really well, because you don't want any black pigment in it, and start putting in the reflection in the water. And the first reflection I'm going to put in is my yellow. I'm going to take my yellow. I like to sometimes start with just a smidge of my quinacridone in there so that I have a bit of a layer with the orange to the yellow. And I like a little of this feathering, so I don't want to totally take it out. I'm going to make dashing strokes here on the edge of the brush, back and forth, right? Here we go, just little dashing strokes. They're going to be kind of level. I don't want them to be diagonal up and down, because this is water, and that's how the light will dance across the top of the waves and the water. As they're getting closer up here, I can be a little bigger with these strokes, see? Widening them out to say that this is closer to me, and then they're going to get smaller and denser as they get further away. I'm going to pull a little more yellow in there. This is just what we're doing to sit there and show these fabulous fireworks that are festively exploding up in the sky. Everything is good here. Everybody's celebrating. It's a happy community. I'm going to grab a little of that orange and kind of just pop it here. I like to mix the light on the water as if the colors in the sky are mixing. You don't have to do that, it's just a thing that you can do. Just put a little bit of that here and there. I think it adds dimensionality. I'm going to rinse out my brush a whole lot. And I'm going to get my quinacridone and maybe a little of my blue. And it's going to give me a very reddish purple. So I'm going to start here with that. I will pick it up to the bright pink, but again, we want things to dance. Now this is slightly kind of transparent, and you want that as you're going. Let's take this all the way out to the edge. So see, it's kind of like making a little cone in. What's happening here is the lights in the sky are reflecting out in the water, and they have to do the fireworks here because that's safety, right? We're making up rules. We got a good fire marshal, loves the town, so he's making sure everybody is safe. Now I will sometimes get the white on my brush to help the quinacridone pop and be very bright so you can really see the pink in it. Ah, there we go. There we go. Really, you can do this with any yellow, red, and blue you have. Right? You rinse all that out. And I bet you can guess that I've got to put a little blue and a little yellow over here. So the yellow, interestingly enough, I'm going to put kind of up here. Just a little spot of it, not too much. You can even get, I like maybe a little white into that yellow. Just mix that back, dashing back and forth, lightly on the edge of the brush. Don't be hard or particular on yourself. This is just painting. I'm rinsing out. You can hear me doing it, and I wipe off. You can always check to see if you have too much pigment left on your brush by wiping it off on your towel. I'm going to get my blue, add a smidge of white to it so it shows up, because the blue can be transparent and not show up as much as you would like. I'm going to add these little blue dashes along the edge here. Go ahead and zipper them into the yellow. Right? Maybe a little darker on my blue. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. I might mix a little blue light into that yellow that's peeking here. And it's like we are feeling the reflection in the sky, isn't it? It's fun stuff, I think. Fun, fun stuff. Enjoying the corridor. It's a light corridor. Being playful with how it mixes out. Darker here at the outside edge if I pull that in. And just enjoying that entirely. Now, this is sort of interesting. I'm going to start putting in my little fireworks. I'm going to get a smaller brush, just a little bit smaller. I have some control over. This is a number 4 bright. Again, this is synthetic filaments. I'm going to get this wet, drag off the extra water. And I think I will put in my yellow firework up top first. I'm grabbing a little yellow and maybe a little white. Come here. And this is about almost paint. Think of a clock. You're just painting some hands out. I'm on the edge of the brush and I'm doing these little brush strokes radiating out around. See how they're radiating out around? And then they're going to come out a little longer. This is the firework exploding out. I'm on the edge of the brush. You can do a detail round here if you don't have, if the bright is giving you any trouble at all, you know, switch to a small detail round brush. And what I mean by that is something like this, right? If you're having trouble getting your bright to work for you, switch to that style. Use what's comfortable for you. Don't get caught up in having to do one thing or another thing. This is art. Just opening up these dashes, aren't we? Expressively radiating out. See, I'm not making just a bunch of even lines. I'm dashing them out. Some are long, some are short. They're radiating out. There's an implied texture that I'm definitely following to show this firework. Let's get some, maybe just white on the brush. It's a bead on the edge here. And come in the center. Maybe pull out a little extra heat to say this is the hottest part of the explosion. Just dash it out. Isn't that nice? Painterly, expressive. Get a little more yellow, just to be fun. Make sure it's quite bright, because you want it to feel bright and cheerful. Fireworks are bright and cheerful. Look at that. Just a little bit of work, and what do we have? This gorgeous fire flower in the sky. I'm going to do something similar here. Just maybe shorter, lighter strokes. Again, my pressure is light. I'm trying to create light lines. That's your trick. Just do the best you can. If you're new to painting, don't be hard on yourself. Everybody can learn it, but it can take a minute to learn all the stuff. So don't feel like you can't do it. So I'm pressing a stroke in and then pulling and curving, pressing and pulling and curving. That's how I do it with my bright. And this is a very stiff bright with a beautiful edge. If this brush were soft, this would be hard. And I'd have to switch to somebody like this, which I'll show you just real quick. I'm going to get it wet. Get some paint loaded on it. See, that's the other way I could do this. So lots of ways to do it. I like to have a couple tools around just in case one tool isn't doing the job. That's what you should do. Keep a couple things around just in case something isn't doing the job you want it to do. These are some beautiful fireworks exploding up over the city. There we go. Now, one thing that I'm going to do, while I've got this little brush with the yellow, I'm going to load a little bit on here, and see the edge of my brush here? I'm going to turn on some city lights. Everything is dry here now. And I can even come underneath here, dashing a couple more city lights on. You know, I like to say that there's power in the city. Here, like, see it pull softly across. It's like a dry brush. You can even put some lights up in the hills. If you want to have some red lights, just come get your yellow and mix it into your quinacridone. Get that bright orange again. You can add some of that into the city, see? And even into the center of your firework. So everything here is just fun, right? Just playful. So easy and so fun to do fireworks. I'll rinse that out. I'm going to get some white. Make sure that I do some energetic explosions here. Explosions. We're almost done, which is why this is just a crazy fun painting. I've got the white on my brush. I'm going to come get some of my pink. Come here in the center. Start telling some big mortars over here. Big mortars over here. Right? Oh, there we go. See how I'm just on the edge and I'm curving it out? My hardest pressure is when I start the stroke, and then as I finish the stroke, I lighten and release it from the canvas. Oh, I got some of the orange in there, but I like it. You're gonna keep radiating those strokes out. And they don't have to be from the center out. Some of them can be more focused out here where the energy is. You know, you got to just see. These can really fall down. Tells a story, doesn't it? Just pull that across there. Nice story. Let me get a little more pink on my brush. Just enjoy telling that story. There was a little white on there, and so that just came off. Now, I'm going to take a little of my yellow, a little of my magenta, and come in the center, because sometimes these have different colors. They're like two tones, aren't they? Add some of that in the center here, radiating out. Let me get some white. Just dash that out. Sky flower, fire flower. Just paint a beautiful night sky. Almost done. Rinse out. Now I'm going to get my blue. I definitely know I'm going to want to add some white to my blue. And I'm going to come do this one right here. Same thing. Same thing. Just pulling these lines out. When I'm over on this side, so when I'm to the right, I kind of curve to the right, and when I'm over to the left, I kind of curve to the left, and that really helps me. Just something to think about. I'm on the edge of my brush, and I like these strokes to be dry and expressive. Look at that. Just loading up the brush. You can see the load there. Just enjoying painting out the shape of that. Alright, a little white in the center. Almost done, guys. It's so pretty. I bet you're doing so good. I bet you're totally rocking this. Little fun, edgy, great piece. A little more blue. Oh, wow. Look for anything, give it a look, and go, is that where I want it? Is it exploding how I'm feeling it? Does that remind me of every favorite festival I've ever had? That was a lot of fun, and I'm so glad you spent this time with me. I know these are a lot of fun new tools and some really exciting ways to use them, but look at what you can do. Good to yourselves, be good to each other, and I want to see you at the easel really soon for another fun project. Bye-bye!